We're here with head women's rugby coach Ken Pape. Good start to the season, 2-0 against some very tough competition in the Naval Academy in Queens, both of whom in recent years have had great success, especially at the national level, a pair of national championships between those two. If you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts on how the year has gone.
Yeah, so last year we played Navy. They beat us 86-0. We played Queens. They beat us 75-0. Navy won the D1 CRAA championship last year. Queens won the D2 NYRA championship last year. So two really, really strong teams. And our team went out and we had a really big game plan in the off season on how we were going to improve our roster. We went out and we brought 24 recruits in, a couple transfers to put together with our already pretty established team, our good culture. It was an incredible experience overall to be able to look and have a vision of what your team is going to look like, and then to see them execute on the field on game day was actually really exciting for me. It was probably one of the most enjoyable games I've ever coached.
You talk about bringing in those 24 new players, and when you have that many new faces, it can be a little troubling at times to kind of build camaraderie and kind of build that team culture. How important was it going into the offseason to really hit the ground running and make sure that everyone was on the same page in regards to kind of thinking as a collective unit?
Oh, it's probably the most important thing, right? I mean, you could have the best players in the world, and if you don't have a good culture and a good setup behind it, it's not going to mean anything. I mean, if you just look back to some of these all-star teams. When you look at an all-star team, the NHL all-stars, when they go and play Russia, for example, the all-stars get destroyed. When you have teams that have played together, year after year after year, they're always going to be better than the all-star team type scenario. So building that great team culture, building that really strong sense of work ethic, getting our systems in place early, talking about it often. All the credit to the women for believing in the system and pushing through that process.
Obviously, a lot of home games on this year's fall schedule. Obviously, the road games, very, very tough matchup at Life, at Westchester. But, being able to stay at home, what does that do in terms of just being able to, go through your daily routine and not have to worry about, disrupting it and having to kind of start afresh by, possibly waking up at 6 a.m. to go 2 hours, 3 hours somewhere and do battle?
Yeah, so last year we put the paces in, and we had a huge away schedule last year. So getting those return games from the likes of Navy and the likes of Queens, for example, to get those home fixtures is going to be really helpful. Homegrown food is always better than out on the road, and you've got your fans around us. I don't know if you saw I know you did, but we had close to 500 fans here in attendance cheering us on. Huge crowd. We had 1.5 thousand people watching us on the live stream. Being home is a special place, and credit to the women from last year who knew that we were going to be putting in that hard away schedule last year because we were building towards this year to culminate and to culminate into a national title run.
Obviously, next up is the big provisional tournament here at Lander. A lot of time for some players who might be vying for some starting roles, some bench players. What does this tournament bring for your squad, especially those players that are looking to show you that they deserve to be higher up on the depth chart?
Well, I'll tell you, it's really exciting for us. We've never had this kind of depth before, and we've got position battles this year. We've got 2 and 3 and 4 women per position fighting to just get on the roster. So to be able to have this provisional tournament, you've got the likes of like a Bailey Burt, for example, who, this year, she's a previous, All-American. She's done quite well for herself. She's played for the U.S. She's coming off an injury, so, we'd like to see where she's at with that. But, these JV games give us an opportunity to get those players minutes. Bailey hasn't played in over 6 months, 8 months. gives her a chance to get out there. You've got Eve Grossi coming back, from an injury. She's going to get her some minutes. Bella Galata, our big transfer from Notre Dame College, she's going to get some minutes. Rachel Halleman coming off of a huge NAI sevens run with Rugby Advantage with Coach Risch. These are all really, really, really good players, and they don't want to sit on the bench and watch. They want to be out there, and this is going to be their time to show they can put their skills together and put something together and, give us something to have to think about.
Obviously, you talk about All-Americans, and this year you take one of the Burt twins, Jess Burt, as an assistant coach. What is having that All-American on your coaching staff and someone who knows the program, knows how things are run? What's it mean just kind of having that in your back pocket?
When Jess first approached me about retiring, and it was obviously really a delicate time for us, and she's been with me now for 5 years, and this is going on her 6th year, and she's just one of those people that gets the system, she gets the culture that we're trying to build, she understands what we're trying to accomplish here as a university, and she's on board. Now, it's hard to transition from playing with a bunch of people to now being their coach. But, Jess Burt she commands respect. She went out there, she met with the returners, said, hey, listen, I know it's going to be a little bit different, but I need you to respect me. And she's not just saying, you need to respect me. She's proving to them why she deserves their respect. The incoming players, they don't know any better. They know Jess Burt is played for the U.S., was an All-American, this, that, and the third, but, she has done a tremendous job. And for the first time since being here at Lander, I have someone I can bounce ideas off of. And, someone that can help me set up practices and, be there when I can't be. And she is just, holy cow. I have absolutely struck gold. It's not very often that a GA takes on an assistant coaching role. They're usually just kind of like a gopher, go get this, go get that. She's not that at all. She is truly an assistant coach level player.
A lot of exciting things for the Lander women's rugby team, and hopefully we'll be having a lot more of these conversations about the same things, a lot more wins, and a lot more growth as the season progresses.
Absolutely. We're really looking forward to it, and I really appreciate all the support of yourself and the Lander community, Brian Reese and Dawn Turner and all the athletics department has been really behind me. So we're really excited to see what we can do.